Good evening, everybody. This is Haiti Institute of Education. This is the Diploma of Mental Health. This week we're doing CHCMHS010, so 01 and 0, that's what it is, 010. Implement recovery orientated approaches to complexity. It's a bit wordy, but once you understand the way it's described, you'll figure it out. It's pretty straightforward. So we'll just kick off with the acknowledgement of country. In the spirit of reconciliation, Haiti Institute of Education acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first inhabitants of this nation and the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, live, and study. We express our gratitude for the sharing of this land, our sorrow for the personal, spiritual, and cultural costs of that sharing, and hope that we may move forward together in harmony and in the spirit of healing. We pay our respect to all First Nation people and acknowledge elders past, present, and emerging. So just with just the general housekeeping to move into the session, we've obviously with the class that we've got, we're a camera college, so we work with cameras on. It just keeps everybody the same, and it lets us know who people are rather than just a name that's a name tag. Yeah, it just keeps everybody the same. So there'll be maybe a few more people coming in and a few more regulars. Microphones off just for to reduce any background noise with children or animals or traffic that can come through the microphone into the laptop or computer. Then it can be a bit distracting for a lot of people, for a lot of us. So microphones off, cameras on, and with the amount of study that we've got, a few hours, then we'll have breaks, usually around 7 and 8 o'clock for 10 minutes each. Class participation, just to make sure everybody gets a chance when we're interacting. We use the reactions icon underneath the camera. It just means that whoever puts their hand up first, whoever wants to jump in first, manages to get there. Respectful relationships, be mindful and kind with your words and respect the opinion of others. That's why we're here, just to respect. We're all learners and in this together, obviously. No smoking or vaping or alcohol on camera. It's just like a TAFE class or a staff meeting, something like that, where we wouldn't be allowed to do it there. So we're not going to do it on camera in a diploma class. Obviously, that could be a trigger for people if people are seeing people on camera smoking, drinking, using things that then trying to give up quite often. So we just have a warning for that. Also, with a lot of the material that we cover can be confronting or overwhelming. We don't want to add anything else to it. So finally, be kind to yourself. Obviously, we're trying to look after other people while we're here, but in that, be kind to yourself and look after yourself. Make sure that you've got enough left in you to give out to other people rather than emptying yourself and exhausting yourself and having nothing left for yourself. Otherwise, we just burn out, unfortunately. So I'll just move on to the session. So tonight, looking at the mental health sector. So it's the first of two classes. Plenty to cover, a few videos, some of them help. Well, we're not going to watch the unhelpful ones, but a few videos that are helpful. You will get a recording of the class. It's probably not this one that we're in. It's more a generic one. So anything that you miss, anything you don't understand, you will get another recording that you can skip through and pause and slow down, and you can still email us if you are struggling with anything. I guess before we jump into the class, I'll give an explanation on things. So this, like I said, this is the unit. Government designed it, not us, not us at Haida. So the government designed it, got together with other people, put it together with a description of this here. This unit describes the skills and knowledge required to identify and respond to issues of complexity when supporting people living with mental illness and their care networks. Obviously, it's not really a secret that anybody that's got a mental health issue, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not just an issue on its own. There's going to be other things there, complex issues all around it. And that's what it's meaning by complexity. So this unit, the unit is based on a strengths-based approach and acknowledges that complexity is not a characteristic of an individual. So it's not that we're saying we're working with a complex person has a mental health issue, and they might have a few other things as well. So that the person is dealing with complex issues. So it's person-centered. Healthcare system, community services system has gone in the past 10, 20 years, all across community services. So it's not a handicapped person or a disabled person. It's a person with a disability, a person with a life handicap or a disability, because that person is dealing with it. We're not dealing with disabled people. It's the person themselves is dealing with an issue. So say mental health issues, it's a person that's dealing with a mental health issue. If it's complex issues where there's co-occurring issues, then it's going to be a mixed bag for them quite often. And when we see it we have to see it like that so that we can try and be empathic to what the person is trying to struggle with in the first place. So it's not the characteristic of an individual. Complexity may be impacted by a range of interactions between the worker, the organization, and the environmental context. And that's just to list a few. There could be heaps more issues than that, obviously, whether it's AOD issues, medication issues, cognitive issues, age issues, senior or younger. So there's so many different things, and we've got to work with that. So that's what the government said. Learner guide, if you can't find the learner guide or the unit isn't open, I guess I've got to check. Can you access all the stuff in Accelerate? Is the unit open, the module open? Yeah. Oh, cool. Good. Still, if you can't find it, just tell me, and you can have the learner guide from me if you need it. Seems like there's a lot to cover there, but there's not really. We've got 2 sessions to cover all of this, and I don't know whether you've looked at Accelerate. There's only 2 assessments. They're not small assessments, but it's not massive. You haven't got role plays. You've got a case study or a project or something, and plenty of a big quiz. That's it. So the assessments, we focus the assessments on the essential things that you need to know. So despite all of this, a lot of this might be industry information that people in mental health services have put in. But the important stuff, that's what we put the assessments in for. I'll come back to the rest in a minute. So that's the unit. A good video, recovery oriented, and person focused. They sound like um, cliches. It's terminology that we need to use regularly. So I'll put this video. I'm going to put the link to this video in. I'm sorry, my internet is saying it's unstable again. Sorry. Oh, and Therese has just informed me as well. Yeah, I'm getting. I'll restart it at break time, but it's telling me now. After Therese did. There you go. So link one, it's so this is where we got to. I was wanting to look at the assessments, like looking at the assessments at 7 o'clock after break. Um, welcome back from break, everybody. So I'll start off with all the advert type things. I've already mentioned the learner guide. This is the learner guide. It's very useful for the quiz. So download that when you can. This, like I said, this is the unit that we're studying, looking at complexity of issues in mental illness. This is my calendar link. If you ever need anything, you're allowed to have staff support half an hour a fortnight or an hour a month, something like that. So I'll get my calendar link here and I'll put it in the chat just in case you ever need it. Nope, that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Sorry. So I'm trying to get that and put it in there. That's better. So if you want to ask a question about an assessment or struggling with something, logging in somewhere, just use the link and that'll help. Discord. Discord is really useful for getting access to setting up role plays. When you, or even not even role plays, you don't have many role plays over the next few months, which is good for you guys. But if you're struggling with an assessment and you haven't got contact with a staff member, you can literally jump on here, maybe jump in the chat and get in contact with somebody else. Sometimes a staff member. There's Vicky. Plenty of staff in here. Learning support are in here. So basically, you need your own. You need to register with your own email address, and then I didn't know I was Dwayne 007. That's cool. Then you register your account to have your own Discord account. It's called Discord. And then once you've got your own account, then you accept the invite from Accelerate. You click on you can't find Hader on here. You have to go into Accelerate and accept the invitation. And then once you've got the invitation, you click on the rules of engagement and it brings you straight here so that you have to agree to the terms and conditions. Which one doesn't work for you, Makeem? Right. Have you apparently, because I can't see your Accelerate version, if you type in Discord invite or just Discord, it should take you to a Discord invitation. And just a couple of weeks ago, people were saying that that was working, trying to hunt it down in Accelerate. Whether the invite has now like gone out of date or anything like that, I'm not sure. But it used to work. Um, if it doesn't work, then we need to get questions. Be nice to everybody. No bad language. Don't share answers on here. It's meant to be a help, not an answer sheet, like a cheat sheet. You click on one of the accept icons, one of these, and then it'll take you to all the other channels. Whether you want to stay with mental health students, alcohol and drugs people, youth workers, community service people there. It's ideally for when you're trying to get 2 or 3 people to get a role play done. So you have to complete a role play, and you find a few people in here. Also, so obviously you're doing the diploma of mental health. There is the certificate 4 of mental health, but there's also a short course in mental health as well, which I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm sorry. There's also the short course in mental health as well. So there's the 3 different levels. If somebody's doing a short course, they might literally only do maybe this module we're doing now. And the short course people, they do the same modules, but less assessments. Or sometimes they do the same half of the assessments, but they would still do similar ones to what you're doing. So you could still ask anybody in these Discord rooms what you for a role player, or if you were questioning one of the assessments, they would still be able to understand. And if they're asking questions as well, you can help them out with their role plays. So that was the link that I put in the chat. That's the learner guide for the assessments. That's the module from the government, and the assessments that I was working on. So we've got the quiz, 23 questions, and we'll look at them in a minute. And then the case study. So the case study is 3 people. It's like split into 3 bits. And case studies would be a bit like if you were working in the sector, you'd be given a case file or a client file. And it would be a bit like this. It'd give you a bit of a rundown of the client, just enough to help you get to know them a tiny bit, but not enough to really point you in the right direction with them. You need to speak to them to find out what they want to do about whatever they're struggling with. So some questions to answer on the case file. Going down there, we're not going to look at it much this week. We'll look at a few more. We'll look at this case study a bit more in detail next week. But it's just a general study, really. And this came out this week. It came out this week, so I thought it'd be randomly helpful. Psychiatrist is cautioning against cannabis legalization. So we can talk about cannabis being criminalized and the users of cannabis being criminalized and made into criminals, whatever they're using. Like even if they're getting it from the GP, there's a certain part of the media and politics that are saying that, yes, but they're still using something that's illegal for the rest of society. So, on one hand, some people are getting criminalized. There's a part of the health system and a part of politics that is saying we don't want to legalize cannabis, but we do want to decriminalize it. So we don't want to make it legal for people to buy, but we do want to make the people that are using, we don't want to turn them into criminals that are just going to use up like police time and money, courts and mental health centers time and money when they are literally only using a tiny bit to self-medicate, really. And then there's the extreme of legalizing the stuff, legalizing cannabis because it's a certain part of society say it's it's either harmless or it's less harmful than other things that we are using and drinking. So there's that massive right across of all of the viewpoints. But this psychiatrist is saying that if it was legalized, there would be even bigger legal problems because of the black market and the dealers would go into control. And a lot of people are saying no, because cannabis, we could make it legal like tobacco and like alcohol. We can structure it and we can control it. The government can look after the whole system and let people use it medicinally and recreationally and let people take control of their own lives and use it like that. But this psychiatrist is saying that it would only make the system even worse. So that's one viewpoint. Bearing in mind this is on Sky News. Sky News is a very conservative. Say that anyway, but it might be true. It might not be true. My connection is unstable again. So that's came out this week. So there you go. These questions. Let's divide them up, split into groups, and get as many answers as you can. Yeah, it works. It's helpful. And then you get part of your answers done tonight, at least. So let me split everybody up into rooms first, and then I know how many we need. So let's do 3 groups. All right. So I won't open them yet. I've got Aileen, Kiri, and Penelope. I've got Brooke, Hakeem, and Priyanka, and I've got Alison, Joyce, and Therese. So I'll show you. That's helpful. There. So I've got Aileen, Kiri, and Penelope. I've got Brooke, Hakeem, and Priyanka, and I've got Alison, Joyce, and Therese. So you've got 23 questions. It's going to be 7 questions per group, really. And then not necessarily thinking about the last 2, which are pretty intense. Yeah, let's not do them, and let's just do the 7. So let's do Alison, Kiri, and Penelope, questions 1 to 7. Can Alison, Kiri, and Penelope, can you access this? Can you get to the questions on Accelerate? Oh, not Alison, Aileen, I'm sorry. Aileen, Kiri, and Penelope. Ah, I'll let you screenshot them then. That's easier. So so question one. How can a worker invite the person to share their life experiences, values, hopes, expectations, and needs? So if you know how to screenshot on your computer, that's perfect. Or yeah, if you use your phone, take a photo with your phone. Um, and question two. Oh, not yet. Sorry, hold on. There you go. Is that all right, McKean? Question two. 13 characteristics that can help a worker to respond sensitively in the exchange of information and assist a person to understand issues and establish rapport. Now, you don't have to do all 13 tonight. You're going to have to do all 13 for the assessment anyway, but just do half, just to get an idea, because otherwise you'll be and you won't have time to do anything else. So just do half of them. Three, again, exactly the same with this one. List at least 10 issues that any one person can face. Four, what active listening techniques can be employed in order to ensure experiences are heard to support exploration and validation of issues raised? So, uh, active listening. It's one of the things that is assessed in the role plays. You have to know what active listening is and you have to know how to do it. Priyanka, if you need the learning guide, then I can put it in the chat and you can download it there if you need it. Five, explain the principles that enable engagement in collaborative record keeping. Six, what is informed consent? All right, so I'm apparently on question 13. So that's where I was. It doesn't say describe. This isn't wanting you to list the legislation. That would be a different question. Um, you would get questions that say list the legislation or describe the legislation, but it's wanting an explanation. Like, what's it for? Why was it used? Why was it put in place? Maybe, or how is it being used? So it's wanting a more complicated answer than just describe or list. 14. Briefly explain the National Mental Health Commission and its associated funding. So there you go. Briefly and explain. And as long as you pick out the right words, it's you're not going to get anybody saying, no, you haven't written enough. Please do this again. Um, so that was 14. 15 is everybody else, the other group, which was uh, I've had to redo them. I think it mixed them all up now. Who was doing 1 to 7? Sorry, it's mixed them all up. It was Aileen. Was it Kiri? the first group.
Aileen, Kerry, and Penelope were doing 1 to 7.
Thank you. It's meant to, this was meant to help us. Technology is meant to help us, but it's not. So, sorry, room 1, Aileen, Penelope, and who was it, sorry?
Me. It was me.
Carrie. Yeah.
Thank you. Kiri. So room 1, Aileen, Kiri, and Penelope. Room 2 was Brooke, Makeem, and Therese. Is that right? That for 8 to 14. Brooke, Makeem, and Therese. Does that look right?
Oh. How can a worker invite the person?
Priyanka was in.
With experience.
Thank you. So who wasn't in group 2 here? That's all right, Priyanka. Mine's even slower than yours. Therese, you were in 3, were you? All right. So if that's right.
Dwayne, sorry, I'm gonna have to go. I'm having an asthma attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
all good.
See ya.
So Alison and Joyce, that'll be 15, 16, 17, 18, all of the rest of them. So 15, 16. Provide an explanation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a means for prioritizing needs. It's a pretty good question. 18. How can a worker prioritize needs in collaboration with the person? 19. Again, just do half of these, or maybe the first 5. Explain your understanding around the values and principles in the following components. Why are these components crucial to an individual's recovery process? So you're given reasons. 20. Identify the factors that contribute to complexity and the service delivery models, frameworks, and legislation in the following and their links with mental health. So mentioned AOD, I mentioned mental health. So you could pick a few out if you wanted to, rather than doing the top few. Pick a few out that you can easily research. So that was 20 and then 21. The following components are techniques for communication and motivational interviewing. So this is what your role play is going to be assessed on. These things. Please give one explanation as to why each component is crucial in the ongoing engagement with the client. So why? It's not it doesn't want a description, it's wanting why it's important. Why we use it, why you're going to get assessed on it in role plays, why we want to see it working amazing, things like that. Oh, speaking of which, I've got somebody's role play that we can watch, Aileen. I can remember you asking for it. So we're going to watch somebody's role play as soon as we've done these questions, when we come back. All right. And it's really good. It's not a role play to say, oh, I don't want to do it like that. It's a role play that it's really, really good and anybody can do it like this. So I'm going to open the rooms. Once you get a link, you click on the link and it'll take you to the room and we'll have, all right, it's 22:08 now. So we'll go to break time and then you go for break and then we'll come back into this room after break at 10 past. So you've got 20 minutes to answer around 7 questions. If you want to do extra, that's fine, but no, you don't have to.